Properties selling above reserve. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, I'm Florian.Heise and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I'm still working through my stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this domain article because it's discussing properties selling above reserve. Earlier today we looked at another piece where they were discussing the potential fall in properties, but all the examples they were giving us were of property that was nowhere near the average, nowhere near the median. It's always in the upper quartile, and I think we're seeing another example of this right here. Are these articles, this is the question I have to you, are they designed to create FOMO, fear of missing out, to take advantage of the social media generation that are used to going on Facebook and Instagram and looking at all these other things and what people are doing in their lives and all these exciting things and going, oh, I'm missing out. Is that what this is designed for, to encourage FOMO? Because, I mean, or is it just trying to find something positive to talk about in real estate? Because these aren't average properties, everyone. Your little specky built, brick veneer house out in the suburbs on a 400 or to a 600 block with no room to breathe, I don't think it's going to shoot above reserve. Your unit in a tower where you're competing with everyone else in the unit for the exact same thing. Oh, look, their window is slightly higher. You think they'll be going above reserve? What if you've got renters in an investment property in the western suburbs of Sydney where they're on rent strike? Do you think that'll go above reserve? I don't think so. Let me know your opinion in the comments. So let's have a look at this. Sydney auctions. North Epping home sells for $1.4 million, 200,000 above reserve. And we looked at this morning. The median price in Sydney is $920,000 for a house. So 200 above reserve. This is the upper quartile of property, I'd say, or near to it. Definitely above average. Where, well, maybe there's more demand. Maybe there's more demand. Could it be the Hong Kong factor, everyone? Properties across Sydney sold well above their reserve prices on Saturday, with agents reporting results reminiscent of the height of the market almost 3 years ago. And we have to remember, everyone, this is arrears data. 3 years ago, this is when we just had the cooling off of foreign investment in property. So there's still some demand there, still higher than it was in the past. It was crazy. Homes going under the hammer attracted big crowds, and strong buyer registration numbers with another one of Sydney's favourite spectacular sports returning to a somewhat sense of normalcy. It does feel like property is a sport in Australia. It really does. It's a national obsession. What do you think? It seems like it. In what may be the ultimate litmus test for the property market in the harbour city, a decrepit terrace at Surrey Street in Darlinghurst smashed its reserve by more than $500,000. More than 100 people turned up to watch the 5-bedroom property go under the hammer, and 16 buyers registered to bid. It was one of 440 properties scheduled for auction in Sydney. By 6 p.m, Domain had recorded a clearance rate of 62.6%, with 266 results reported and 74 withdrawals. The terrace sold for a whopping $4.6 million to a family who have experience in renovating homes at this scale, according to the director of the agency. $4.6 million. The median is $900,000 in Sydney. So this is, cool. If you can do it, fantastic. But this is a unique example. Once again, he said buyer confidence had improved. The general market conditions remain cautious. Today's results is not a beacon of hope for the market. It still has some uncertainty, he said. We need to assess these things not on one particular sale, but on a broad range of categories and results. It's important to not confuse these sorts of things. Wow! I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm surprised it made it into the article. He's right. But it still feels like everything that's being written is just designed to generate FOMO. To get people rushing out there. Jump on that mortgage and buy that property. And people wonder why Australia is so property obsessed. Another rundown house at 19 Holland Street, North Epping, drew 10 registered buyers, 2 of them online. While the auctioneer was initially met with silence, the sell-off got underway with an opening bid of $1.2 million. 4 of the bidders threw their hats in the ring, raising the price in 10,000 increments most of the way. The 3-bedroom property sold for $1.4, surpassing the reserve by $228,000 to a young family who were looking to upsize. The agency North selling agent Catherine Murphy said the property attracted a mix of buyers, including first-home buyers and renovators. Having 10 registered bidders is back at the same level we saw at the height of the market in 2016-17, Miss Murphy said. If we were in a terrible, dire market that everyone is talking about today, simply would not have happened. Wow. I mean, am I just too worried? Too concerned? Will there not be a flood of property on the market due to forced closures? Foreclosures in September or February? What do you think? You don't think the removal of JobKeeper? You don't think, well, increasing unemployment? You don't think removal of, well, trading with liability restrictions? You don't think all of these things may affect property in coming months? I guess not. I mean, people are obviously, well, no, that's building approvals. People are taking advantage of the cash rate. Money is so cheap now. It is just so cheap. It is ludicrous. Ludicrous. And they said they're not going to up the cash rate in the foreseeable future. Ms. Murphy said the market was more attractive this winter than normal because of the lockdown in April. So it's displaced transactions. We missed our autumn market, so I feel like our winter market has really been more of our autumn market and perhaps even a spring market combined. She said many buyers were holding off in the hope of buying for cheaper prices in even worst-case scenario predictions, in the event of worst-case scenarios. Yes, there's a whole camp of buyers who are really saying, we're going to wait until the market drops. It's crystal ball gazing. What we've learned out of time is who knows what's going to happen. Exactly. Well, she's got a point. There's a lot of people that'll wait. If you can, why don't you? Rent's cheap. Rents are going down, everyone. The agency chief of sales and auctioneer Thomas McGlynn said while low stock levels were supporting property prices, the market would need to be flooded to make a difference. And, well, what can cause a flooding of the market? Come on, let us know, guys. We all know. Forced foreclosures. Will there be forced foreclosures, though, with the interest rate so low? But then we're seeing examples of professional couples who've got no savings and people who'd be on 6-figure salaries forced to rely on mortgage holidays. That's the big red flag. Maybe they're just fringe cases. Even if we have an uptick of 30% of property, there would still be a healthy number of buyers there to keep the market performing quite strongly. In West Pimbrel, 5 parties registered to bid on a 4-bedroom house. Bidding started at the low end of the price guide of 1.65, rising in a handful of increments as all but one of the 5 threw their hats in the ring. The property sold for $1.8 million, surpassing reserve by $180,000 roughly. To a young Lane Co family who inspected it for the first time on Wednesday after selling their apartment this week. Ray White, Upper North Shore selling agent Thomas Merriman said strong buyer demand had outstripped the very small number of homes on the market in the tightly held suburb. There is a shortage of stock. There have only been 10 sales this year out of almost 2,000 properties in the suburb. We'd expected about 5% of the suburb turnover on average, he said. That's even better than 2017. The property last traded in 2006 for $585,000, the price more than tripling in 14 years. So what we're seeing here is properties, houses that are above the median in Sydney that people are, upsizing to. But really, they want their family homes. Do you think it's sensible to jump in now or to wait? That's the question. That is the question. We'll have to see. As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. Simply interacting with the channel and commenting is a great way to let the algorithm know you like watching the show. And it'll help spread the channel and help it all grow. You can support us financially via joining on YouTube or Patreon, using our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin, buying our merch from HeiseSays, using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or supporting us via PayPal. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode.